He's the league's most efficient quarterback now. Why is he not in the MVP discussion? Hello? Look at all the numbers. Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold. Look at the numbers. Who do you trust more in a playoff game? Are you sure it's Lamar? And I love Lamar.
You cool with a dude having a bad game with a division crown on the line, playing all world divisions as everybody else. But when the pressure mounted and there was a division crown on the line, a number one seed, home field advantage, and he chooses that night to have his worst game, it's against a team with 13 dudes on one side of the ball on the injured list, on the defense, and he's held to 9 points. You cool with that? I just want. Hey,
I'm not cool
that's
with
what
it.
Dan Orlovsky is saying.
No, I'm not cool with it.
Let's stop.
Sam Darnold has endured and enjoyed one of the most remarkable NFL journeys we have ever seen. From seeing ghosts in New York to contending for the 1 seed in Minnesota, his story is one of resilience, self-belief, and undeniable skill. Counted out by nearly everyone, Darnold has silenced his critics in the most spectacular fashion. But what did his peers think of this transformation? Well, in today's video, we're going to go over different times that players, coaches, and even analysts talked about Sam Darnold or even down about him, because this is what NFL players actually think about Sam Darnold. Now, quarterback comeback stories have been a common trend over recent seasons, with the likes of Jared Goff, Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, and Bryce Young all looking like franchise quarterbacks after being written off. In 2024, Sam Darnold had also joined the list, having signed with the Minnesota Vikings to be a bridge quarterback, only to go ahead and deliver an MVP caliber season that fell just short of the 1 seed in the NFC. In the 2024 regular season, Darnold has delivered at a level well worth his 3rd overall selection back when he was picked. The only catch is, though, well, it took him 7 years and 4 different teams to figure that out. As we all know, his journey began back in New York, where the Jets selected him to be the savior of a long-suffering franchise. There were very few complaints when they did take him, with NFL draft analyst Daniel Jeremiah saying this.
Man, he can do everything you need to do. The kid's 20 years old. One of the aspects of his game that doesn't get talked about enough is that the college game, so much of it, Dan, is on the perimeter. And so people go, okay, this guy didn't turn the ball over. Well, yeah, you're throwing bubble screens and tunnel screens, and everything's to the perimeter. They don't ever work in the middle of the field and make those tight window throws, those big throws you got to make at the next level. And Darnold doesn't have any fear. Sometimes it works against him, but he's worked in the middle of the field. He's been able to sort through all that trash inside. So I think the adjustment will be a little bit easier for him than for some of these other guys.
And now, look, operating over the middle of the field is a crucial part of playing in the NFL, and Sam combined that with impressive physical traits to make him a consensus top option in the 2018 NFL Draft. At 6'3", 225 pounds, and a strong arm, Darnold's ceiling was perceived to be sky high. Hell, even Von Miller was quick to point out another element of his game that had the potential to make him special after a Week 5 victory over the Broncos, in which Darnold threw for 198 yards and 3 touchdowns. The vibes were sky high in New York, and Miller added to the hype, saying this about his opponent. He was saying that as a pass rusher, you want a guy who isn't going to fall when you get him, kind of like how Peyton Manning was. That's exactly what you want. When you get close to him and get ready to touch him, he just falls. That's exactly what you want, and Sam is not like that. He's going to create space and try to get the ball downfield, and rightfully so. He's a playmaker, and he's out there to make plays. Unfortunately, despite the praise from one of the best edge rushers of all time, Darnold failed to keep up that momentum. The Jets landed last in the division with a 4-12 record, and Darnold's tenure in New York would go on to end after just 3 seasons, having thrown as many interceptions as touchdowns. A trade to Carolina did offer him a fresh start, but when he failed to catch on there as well, Darnold's career was at rock bottom. 5 years after being the 3rd overall pick, he was now unemployed. Nevertheless, though, his release did finally provide him with an opportunity to do something he had never done before: sign for a good team. So he snapped up the opportunity to be the backup quarterback in San Francisco, where he could learn from one of the best offensive minds in the NFL, Kyle Shanahan. And despite his career being an undeniable failure up to this point, he still had plenty to offer. Brock Purdy, who was entering his 2nd season in the NFL when Sam arrived, spoke highly of Darnold's willingness to help him learn.
Just the process, the routine, how to study what he's seeing with concepts and how he's ran things before. He's been able to pour into me and help me out with that, and in meetings sort of just remind me of little things within plays, and especially before we get up, before the game starts, the night before we go through all the plays, Brandon and I, he just does a great job with just the little things within the plays of, hey, reminder on this play, this is where we're going with this or that. he brings up these little things that are huge for me as a quarterback.
Considering Brock Purdy went on to complete over 69% of his passes for 4,280 yards and 31 touchdowns en route to a Super Bowl appearance in just his second season, it's clear to see that Sam Darnold's veteran presence did help. But it wasn't just the off-field support that his teammates were grateful for. 49ers star running back Christian McCaffrey also played with Sam Darnold in Carolina, and he was very complimentary of his on-field ability.
Sam's great. He can do everything. He can make any throw. He's smart. He's able to, pick up things quickly and do his job. Doesn't play beyond, anything and just does exactly what he's told all the time, and then adds a lot of flair to it too. I got the privilege to play with Sam. Not enough, unfortunately. I had some injuries, but he's another guy too who's just a gamer, and he's tough as hell. He's played through a lot and never made excuses, so happy he's here.
And I mean, yes, while he never really got the opportunity to show off his talent in regular season games with the 49ers, there is no doubt that just working 1 year with Kyle Shanahan is going to help develop your game at such a high level that it's exactly what he needed. I mean, even Darnold has spoken very fondly of his time in San Francisco, saying that he learned so much from not just the coaches, but the players, and that they were so knowledgeable and that people that he could talk to if he had any question. One person who understands exactly how valuable a year like that could be was Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell, who along with the general manager brought in Sam to be a bridge quarterback for whoever they selected in the 2024 NFL draft. As it turned out, the quarterback happened to be JJ McCarthy, who promptly suffered a season-ending injury during the preseason, which thrust Darnold into the starting role. For the first time in his career, he would be allowed to play in a good offensive scheme with stud playmakers around him. Bookies, however, didn't give the team much hope with Sam under center though, setting their projected win total at 6.5. But Darnold's teammates didn't share that concern. When Diana Russini asked Justin Jefferson what he thought of his new quarterback, Jefferson was clearly very excited.
That surprised you, just how good Sam Darnold's arm is?
Oh yes, very surprising. It is my first time really, being around Sam and having him throw to me. So to see the balls that he throw, especially the go balls, the deep balls that he throw, it was right in the hands, and it feels like a soft pillow. So he's been doing a great job.
Hell, even teammate Jordan Addison also knew straight away that they were going to be just fine, telling reporters this.
I seen it in camp. We already knew what he was about once we got him on our team, where he could throw any pass. So he just put it on display for everybody else.
So as we can see, Sam Darnold's teammates were very, very confident in him, but could he deliver? And well, as we all know, yes, he could. Are you looking for a new book this football season? BetUS is the answer. They have the fastest and easiest payouts in the industry, along with 24/7 personalized service, 365 days a year. Not only that, but they have live wagering on all major games, so if you see something mid-game and want to make a wager on it, you can. And the best part is you get 10% back on your net losses twice a year. And now look, you guys knew I had to come through with you guys for a promo code, so make sure that you guys are using code YouTube150 for a nice 150% deposit bonus on up to $2,000. That's right, we were doing 125%, but we said screw that, we're giving you guys 150% instead. Again, that is promo code YouTube150 for a 150% deposit bonus on up to $2,000. Again, thank you to BetUS for sponsoring today's video, but for now, let's hop back into it. The former Jet and Panther castoff shocked the NFL by propelling the Vikings to 5 straight wins to open the season, including a 4-touchdown outing against Houston and a 3-touchdown performance against Green Bay, 2 teams who were pegged for the postseason. During that 5-game win streak, Sam passed for 11 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, earning a passer rating of over 109 in 4 of them. There was no doubt about it, this was a new look Sam Darnold, and quarterback mentor Jordan Palmer credited his work ethic in getting to this point.
I think the biggest thing for him that I've seen is that in all of those years of kind of getting punched in the gut, the media and teams and traded and all that, I just never saw him cut a corner. I've never had this guy show up 15 minutes late, have to bail early. I've just never seen it.
Honestly, despite just his incredible work ethic and the production that he was putting out up to this point in the season, people were still trying to knock down Sam Darnold and not give him the credit that he did deserve, saying that it was the talent around him that was carrying him to play at this high of a level. One of those people to put a damper on it was head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, or former head coach, I should say now, Doug Peterson, who before the Week 10 clash between Minnesota and Jacksonville, Peterson was asked why it was suddenly clicking for Sam Darnold, and he answered this.
Justin Jefferson. Because you're thinking it. I think the talent around him, that helps, right? having the run game, the defense, the way the defense is played. You know, being in Coach O'Connell's system and the way he calls plays, I think is helpful.
I mean, typically before games, opposing head coaches give big ups to their opponents, so it's notable that Peterson here was quick to praise everything around Sam Darnold rather than speaking about what a good job he was doing. That opinion was certainly shared by many around the nation, but when the good performances kept coming, it became harder and harder to persist with that narrative. One head coach who did go out of his way to praise Darnold was Sean McVay of the LA Rams, who said this.
They're doing a great job. You know, you see a guy that can create off schedule. I think he's playing in rhythm, on time, understands, you know, the intent of what Kevin's calling. I've seen a guy that uses his athleticism to be able to move the sticks a lot, and I see his teammates have a bunch of confidence in him. So a lot of the things that made him, you know, such a highly rated prospect coming out of USC, I think he's in a good situation, obviously, with a coach that I have tremendous respect for, and you can see there's a comfort that those two have. And then I'm seeing the athleticism when things do break down and go a little bit outside the timing and rhythm, where he's made a bunch of plays.
As we know, McVay is certainly a good judge of talent and knows what he is talking about from an offensive perspective. And for him to detail so many specific areas of Sam's game tells you all you need to know about how impressed he was, and he was right. Between weeks 11 and 12, Sam Darnold threw 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions before having a superb 3-touchdown outing against the Seattle Seahawks, in which the Vikings prevailed by 27 points to 24. By now, MVP buzz was starting to emerge, with Darnold having led the Vikings to a 13-2 record. In that game against Seattle, Darnold was going up against Geno Smith, another Jets castoff who thrived elsewhere, and Geno made sure to praise his opposite number after the game. And as we all know, with that win, they had 13 wins, and they had a legitimate shot at the 1 seed and even winning the NFC North, which nobody thought they would have. A tricky game against Green Bay did stand in the way, but Darnold delivered once again, completing 76.7% of his passes for 377 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. I mean, it was a sensational performance, and Tom Brady on commentary was very impressed with the idea that we would be watching Tom Brady praising the high-level football IQ of Sam Darnold in a clutch division win would have been almost impossible to imagine just a couple years ago. But that play in that game, as depicted by Brady, shows just how far Sam Darnold has come. And when thinking about what a remarkable journey he has been on, it makes seeing the team celebration of him that much more special, because that's what sports are all about. One of the key factors in that being such a big celebration was that win over Green Bay had set up a regular season finale against the Detroit Lions, with the winner being crowned the champion of the division and benefiting from home field advantage in the 2024 season's playoffs. Prior to the game, another quarterback enjoying a career resurgence, Jared Goff, was more than happy to send praise to his opponent's direction.
What can you say about Sam Darnold, just the way that he's bounced back, put the season together he has with that offense?
Yeah, it's been tremendous. It's been so fun to watch, and I wish he was doing it in a different division, but he's a good player. He's a great player. He's been a great player for a long time, and I love seeing guys getting chances where they can succeed, and he's certainly made the most of it.
Unfortunately for Vikings fans, it was Goff who had the last laugh, leading the Lions to a 31-point outing, as Darnold did struggle, only managing to put up 9 points. Nevertheless, it was a remarkable first season in Minnesota for Sam, who finished up the regular season with 4,319 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. For his efforts, he has been named to his first Pro Bowl and will now turn his attention to what is hopefully a deep playoff run. And if you want to see what NFL players think about Russell Wilson and his polarizing characteristics, then click this video right here.